8 p.m. Hello, Cody. Welcome.
What's going on? Happy to be here. I'm excited.
It's nice to finally meet you. I'm a huge fan.
I know. Yeah, it's nice to meet you as well.
And let's see if we can get Josh in here.
Yeah,
There we go. Let's add Josh in here.
What's going on, everybody? I see everybody going off in the chat.
Yeah.
Hey!
Hey, Josh.
What's up, guys? How's it going?
It's going. How are you?
What up?
Good, man. Excited. One, I just want to start this off by saying congrats to both of you guys. Honestly, just like to both of you, Cody winning All-Stars. Huge congrats, bro. Well deserved.
Thank you, bro. Appreciate it, man.
Crushing it on radio. Yeah, just hyped to be talking with you.
Awesome. I'm excited to meet you, Josh, and to talk to you too. I think this is our own little like winner circle talking about these shows. So first, we're going to really chat about just these seasons that are coming up, Big Brother 24 and the Challenge USA. We have a special guest that's going to join us to kind of dive deeper into what it takes to do well on these shows and kind of see, you know, who are the standouts that we want to watch this season. So I'm going to add in a special guest from The Amazing Race. Let's add him in. It's Mr. Corey Cool, who was on season 28 and season 31 of The Amazing Race. Hi, Corey.
What's up? What's up?
What up, Corey?
What's going on, Corey?
Hey, guys.
It's
Thanks for
great to
having
have
me.
you. Yeah, no, it's great to have you. So obviously with the challenge, we have 4 shows that are going to be competing. We have Big Brother, we have Survivor, The Amazing Race, and Love Island. And I think the first thing to point out is that there's a different number of people from each of these shows. So for the 3 of you, how do you feel like this is going to play out with these like show alliances, if those exist?
I would love to hear what Josh has to say about this because he literally has dealt with it. Like, I feel like Josh has already stepped into that where he had to deal with it on the challenge before. So I'm excited to hear what he has to say.
Yeah, no, I'm going to let you guys go first because I feel like I have so much to say about this topic. But no, I think, to be honest with you, I think it can be an advantage, right? Because you have that instant connection and relationship. So we all, from our respective shows, you all have that bond and you know what it is to go through that experience. So you have that connection, but it can also affect you because, I don't know, I think that people try to come into these games and, oh, I was on Big Brother, so instantly you're together. But it's more than that. I think it's like a genuine connection. And if you can really trust a person, it's not only about like if we come from the same show, if that makes any sense, you know?
Yeah, definitely. I feel like it's tough though too because, excuse me, you go on, right, like there's people that play Big Brother together and they could go on a show and they may not have necessarily like been on each other's sides when they played Big Brother. And now they're playing the challenge and the challenge is super cutthroat. And so I can't wait to see, because you see a lot of people that played Big Brother together on this upcoming season of the challenge. And I can't wait to see if there's like maybe that like kind of like, oh yeah, I want to work with you, but I also want to beat you because I've already lost to you or you went further than me. So I'm eager to see how that plays out.
Same.
Yeah, I'm excited. I think it's easy to kind of fall into just aligning with the show that you were on. I think a lot of people will probably gravitate toward that. I'm definitely excited to see any people who want to like cross shows and make alliances that way. And just because there's so few amazing racers, I'm hoping some of the other shows want to work with them, want to scoop up the trio of them and build them into their alliance. And hopefully that allows them to go far.
So which of these shows do you think has the leg up going into the challenge? And Josh, I know you've been on the challenge many times. So what show do you think really has the leg up for all of these shows?
So I want to say Big Brother because you have basically, you have the whole cookout basically on the show. So they come in with that alliance. So I want to say Big Brother. But honestly, I don't know how that cookout alliance is going to play out. I am pretty close with some of them, and I am rooting for Xavier, Callan, and all of them. But I don't know if that's going to affect them because they literally just got off of their season. Going into a game like this with how well they played, I think they're instant targets. You know, it's impossible to not target that alliance coming in. And I think Survivor, dude. I think Survivor, they know how to play the whole political game. I know that they know that there's strength in numbers. So I think that whole, I mean, you have 3 Survivor winners on the cast. So I think Survivor is going to be a huge threat also.
And just to kind of reiterate, there are 6 winners on this cast,
Oh, yeah.
and there
That's
are
awesome.
12 people
Great.
who made the finale of their season. So it's a stellar rock star cast
Yeah.
of people.
I love that because I feel like that kind of evens the playing field, right? Like you get in this game and it's like, oh, you're going to target a winner. And then like other winners, I know for me, if I went on a season, they're like, oh, we should target a winner. I'd be like, well, I know I'm next. So now I'm going to go after that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I like that they did that because it kind of evens the playing field for all the winners because I know that would make me feel some type of way. Like I can only imagine, Josh, you go on the challenge. You're a winner from Big Brother. You're not just somebody that played. And so it's like, well, obviously being a winner, like everybody's going to be like, okay, he's great at the game. We need to get him out. And it's like, you just want to like play the game and build those relationships. And if everybody's just targeting you because you're like one of the only few winners there, I think that's just unfortunate.
I agree.
Yeah, I think when it comes to having a leg up, I would agree. I think the survivors are used to kind of more physical challenges like the challenge is used to having. I think the Amazing Racers, again, I think just the way the competition works with having daily challenges, the Amazing Race is a daily challenge every day. And the people on that show have to be able to do the challenges or they get eliminated. So it's really going to come down to the format of the show. But yeah, I'm thinking maybe Survivors and Amazing Racers will have a leg up just on the competitions themselves.
Is there anybody from the 28 cast members who really stands out to y'all? A guy and a girl, who are those people that really stand out as we go into the season?
I'm going to have to go with my man Enzo. I mean, he's got
Shout out to Enzo, man. He was
meow.
I was so surprised, but super excited to see on the cast.
It's like he's 43. I like can't wait to see this dude rolling around with some of these young, like there's big time like people on this cast, and like not Enzo's big time, you know, but he's ancient. Like he's 43. Like I can't imagine doing it at that age. Like caps off to him. Like he's a beast.
Yeah. I think I'm excited. There's a lot of people actually that I'm excited to see play the game. You know, I think Tyson's obviously one of those heavy hitters, huge threat going in. The guy has played Survivor 4 times. I mean, instantly, as soon as I saw the cast, I was like, how do you not target Tyson? But I'm excited to see what he has up his sleeve this season. Angela, I think that people, she's such an underrated Big Brother player because she was so good in all the comps. So I'm really hyped to see her. Xavier, obviously being a winner. I don't know. This cast is stacked. So I'm really excited to see a lot of these people and see how they manage the game of the challenge.
Yeah. They had a lot of Love Island people on there as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I think I'm excited, honestly, to see the Love Islanders actually compete in, I hate saying like real challenges, but like on Love Island, it's like truth or dare challenges. So I'm excited to just see how they perform as a whole. I'm glad they're there and I'm glad they're getting representation. But yeah, I'm excited to see if they can hang in there and compete.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a completely different game. The challenge is so cutthroat. Only from what I've heard.
I can't imagine. It's so physical. It's like I would die. Okay, so now let's move into the Big Brother cast. We have a brand new season of Big Brother, all newbies who we've never seen play the game before, and I'm super excited about these 16 competitors. Is there anyone that really stands out to y'all from these 16 competitors and what we know about them so far?
I'll let Cody start this.
Yeah, so I was listening to a lot of their interview questions and answers that they were giving from one of the articles that I was reading yesterday, and Nicole was one that really stuck out to me. Her last name is Leong, Nicole Leong from Fort Lauderdale. I loved her answers that she would give. It was like she had a good, because like I feel like a lot of people, they watch Big Brother, and that doesn't really mean that they have a grasp on the game. And I felt like Nicole, with a lot of her answers, like had a really good grasp on the game. Now, the social aspect is the most important, but just from some of the answers that she gave, she's my early favorite.
I honestly would have to agree. She is my top girl pick, and I would say close behind her is Taylor. I loved how she talked about Danielle Reyes, the queen of all queens, in her answers. but those two girls are standouts for me.
Yeah, we're all synced up. I had Taylor and Nicole as like my top two as well. Just from some of the stuff I was reading, I like hearing from people who have watched the show, have an understanding of the show, were super fans of the show. I think they make it exciting to watch. And yeah, literally those were the top two names that I had kind of circled on my list.
Agree. I think for me, as a like I grew up watching Big Brother, so that was the one show that I geeked out about. Every single season I always root for like the super fans. So Taylor for sure. Once you said Danielle Reyes, I instantly was like, all right, she's definitely
you can tell
like the nerdy guy. But I think Michael, I hope he doesn't go in overplaying it, because a lot of people, when they're super fans, they go in and play too hard. I hope that he's able to, you know, adapt as the game goes. But yeah, I'm really excited for those two.
I agree. I like Michael a lot too. I'm excited for Michael and Joseph. They're both lawyers. I think lawyers have like a weird way of talking to people. So I'm excited to see how they kind of maneuver through the game too.
I feel like they're calm, right? Like lawyers know how to not let your emotions come in and make your decisions for you. They kind of are like strategic, logical. We saw it with X last season in perfect form. But I can't wait to see whether or not they go in and say that they're attorneys. Because, I don't know if that would have affected X. You know what I mean? And so I'm eager to see if they kind of go the route that he did or they switch it up.
Yeah.
And Michael gave a shout-out to Rennie, too, which I love. So.
Rennie! We love Rennie.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts, Corey, before you leave us about this season of Big Brother or the challenge?
I don't think so. I mean, I'm so excited. I've been a fan of all these shows forever and ever and ever. It was a dream come true for me to go on The Amazing Race, and I'm just like all of y'all, where I'm excited on my couch to tune into both shows tonight. So big love. Appreciate y'all having me on here to chat for a minute.
Thanks, Corey.
Later.
See you, bro.
Bye.
Later.
All right, everyone. I'm going to add in our next person who's going to join us. And it is Hi from Survivor Season 42. Let's see if we can get him in. Boom. All right, he's been invited, so he'll join us. There he is.
Let's
go.
What's up?
How's it going?
Going?
Oh, no.
Hear me?
Cutting out.
No.
Yes,
Right,
we
can y'all
can hear
hear
you,
me?
but you're a little choppy. Yes.
Yeah.
All right. Now?
We can hear you, yes.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah, that's a lot
What's
better.
up?
So hi, I know you were on Survivor, and I loved watching you on the show. For Big Brother, though, what would kind of be your strategy going into that type of game versus Survivor?
Okay. I'm really just gonna co-opt the Cookouts strategy, because I feel like they had a perfect strategy, which is to keep your allies close but your enemies closer. So the fact that they were running the house but they all had secret number ones that would feed them information, genius. So I'm not sure if you can, strike lightning twice in a bottle, but I would try to replicate that.
Perfect. So you had a couple of different alliances on Survivor 42. One of those being with Lydia, which I love. If you're on Big Brother, do you have a name that your alliance would be? Because in Big Brother, we all know that they love naming their alliances.
Yeah.
If I was on Big Brother, I would probably align with people who shower, who brush their teeth, who wear clean clothes. And with that in mind, my alliance name would be Good Hygiene.
I would love that.
I mean, you lived on an island with people who didn't do those things.
Yeah, that's what I was.
I think it was
can't
put
even
on the
imagine
wrong
that.
show, honestly.
Hi,
I can't imagine. Survivor's a different breed.
Can I just say real quick, huge fan of your season, dude. I literally watched the whole thing. You played such a great game to the point that you got eliminated. You played such a good game. Would you ever consider bringing? Because I think, first of all, I think you deserve another chance to play Survivor. Just your strategy and the way you played it. Until the Blind Side, I think that you played an amazing game. But would you ever play, if you got called for the challenge, would you join?
Oh, first off, I appreciate that. That was really nice. Listen, I don't think I'm built for the challenge, but I have never turned down a challenge before. So I feel like
that.
I don't know. I might have to consider it. It's okay. So I have checked out a few seasons, and I will say my favorite part about the challenge is the politicking that goes into the show. Like, there's a lot more strategy, and it's very similar to Survivor in that aspect. So for me, I would love to play a more political game.
I think you would. Listen, if I'll say yes, because you would kill it. I think you would do amazing on it.
Oh, thanks, man.
I feel like Survivor has like a good, because they do the physical challenges, they have that strategic and social aspect of the game. I feel like Survivor is like a good, smooth transition right to the challenge.
Agree.
Yeah.
I mean, the same can be said for Big Brother too, though. That social gameplay is so political. Like, you're maneuvering through people's emotions, which is fascinating, which I think helps people do well on the challenge as well.
Yeah.
The challenges. I feel like the challenge combines all of them. It's like when you go on the challenge, I feel like you have to train to go on the challenge. Can't, like Big Brother, like I feel like you don't have to, like, you know, like there's no like preseason. You just like kind of go and you kind of just be yourself. For like the challenge, it's like if you don't like get yourself ready for it, I feel like you're gonna struggle. Josh, correct me if I'm wrong.
I completely
and
agree.
Also Survivor, right? You know what I mean? Like I see you training right now, and I'm like, damn, Josh is going in right now.
Yeah, no, I completely agree, but I think, you know, it's like a full-on sport. Like, it's literally, they bring in, now they went international, they bring in these athletes from all around the world, and everybody takes it so serious, but now we have all the CBS, and I think that the strength from all shows that we have is that we're able to adapt. Like Amazing Racers, that game is so fast-paced. I don't think I can do the race because there's no way I'm going to navigate, but I think it just comes down to adapting to change. And I think all three games, Big Brother, Survivor, and Amazing Race, I think that we all have that strength where we're able to adapt quickly, right, to a fast-paced game. That's why Love Island, I'm so what the heck they're about to do. Because I think with us, it's like, all right, where do you jump in and kind of get the hang of it? So Love Island, I am so intrigued to see how the hell they handle the whole game with the challenge.
That's going to be great.
For the three of you, especially Hai, going into the challenge, would you work with your show, or would you want to work on your own to kind of maneuver through other shows to form new alliances? Is that something you would do?
Listen, you have to stick with the devils you know, is what I have learned from my season. Y'all, Chanel dragged the hell out of me when we got home. She's like, we had everyone wanting to work with us with Vati. Why would you give up, the numbers? And I feel like the challenge is sort of that same dilemma, right? Like, do you work with new people who you can't really predict what they're going to do? Or do you work with people that you might not necessarily like, that you have beefed with, but you can predict their behavior? And I feel like it, for me, would be the latter. You would have to work with the devils you know. I'm curious to hear from Josh, though, right? Because you've played multiple times. Like, what is the strategy that works best?
I agree. Kind of what you said. It's you play with the people you know and the ones that you have ties with. And I think that a lot of the players going into the season are going to do that, right? I think Race, from like what I see preseason from the interview, Race is definitely going in together. Big Brother is going in together. Survivor is. So I think that they're all going to do that. And I think that is a strength. But I'm more interested, and I think the person that's going to do extremely well is the one that's going to be able to have those ties within their shows, but then kind of play into working with other alliances. Like, who's going to cross over, like, from Big Brother and work with Survivor? Who's going to cross over from Survivor and work with, so I think not only having those numbers to protect you, but then having other people that you have ties with is, I mean, it is a numbers game, but with the challenge, numbers could only get you so far, right? Like, when it comes down to it, down in the sand in front of TJ.
Yeah.
So we'll see. I'm excited to see how people play the whole political side of it for sure.
Yeah, because if you go in and you don't work with the people that you've been on the same similar show with, they may just target you immediately when they get the chance. So you have to kind of play both sides of it without looking like you are. And ultimately, I feel like you have to realize, like, I'm going down there. So there's going to be an individual aspect to the game. So it's like, it's not all team because like they can't jump in and, you know, go into the pit for you. So I feel like you have to honestly always play your own game.
Yeah.
And I totally agree. Every season of the challenge, the format always changes and really impacts the way that people maneuver through the game. So I'm curious to see how the format of Challenge USA really pushes the cast members to maneuver through all these different shows, or even if they're allowed to kind of like team up with their own show, like how is it going to play out?
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, it'll be super interesting to watch.
For sure.
Yeah.
Hi, any final thoughts about these new seasons of Big Brother or The Challenge before we let you go?
Yeah, honestly, I'm rooting for everyone who has lived on an island for however many days, starving and smelly, right? So I'm rooting for my Survivor people, but I'm excited to see everyone play.
Awesome. Thanks, Hi. It was great chatting with you.
Before you go, I just want to say I have never seen somebody handle a blind side with so much grace. But, like, honestly, I respect that so much because it just showed how big of a fan you were of the show, and for you to be able to respect the game. I'll stop being a fan, but yeah, dude, I just fan.
Dude,
no,
I appreciate
a lot of respect. A lot of respect.
I hope you get the chance to play again. I loved watching you as well.
Fingers crossed. Thanks, y'all. Bye.
See you, buddy.
Bye.
Bye. Hi.
All right, let's add another survivor and add in Jonathan, also from season 42 of Survivor. The Challenge Beast.
Yo,
What's up, my friend?
Hey, Jonathan.
What's up, guys?
How are you?
Doing good. I'm on with some legends.
Look who's talking, dude. You're a cop.
You're a beast.
You, of anybody who's ever played Survivor, I've seen every season of Survivor. I have never in my life seen somebody muscle through so many challenges and kill it. It was inspiring to watch because it's not some type of physicality that I'm blessed with or that I'm going to ever be able to do. So watching you was insane. It was great.
Thank you, bro. I left it all on the island for sure.
So with that physical strength, it's everything on this show, The Challenge. And those endurance games are obviously important too. What types of challenges do you think are gonna, make the most impact in the challenge? Because there's so many different types of people. We have people who, did Big Brother, Love Island, Survivor, Amazing Race, where the physical threats are going to do well in the really strong ones. We have some smaller people who might do well in the endurance ones. What kind of challenges do you think, obviously, you would excel in, but that you are excited to see or that people would do, well in?
Bro, every elimination game. I'm looking forward to those. Every time the challenge comes on and the elimination game comes on and we got the hall brawl and pole wrestle. Dude, I'm excited. I'm excited for that. Those are my favorite. Every time I watch the challenge, there's always something physical. There's always something going on physical. Even like if it's a puzzle, you got to race to get to the puzzle. Mm-hmm. You got to get everything set up. So for me, I know that I would do better with the elimination games personally. So yeah, I'm looking forward to that for this new season of the challenge.
Yeah, I feel like the challenge too does a good job of like, a lot of times it could be just a hall brawl one-on-one, but a lot of times they also throw your partner down there with you. And so you take like a physical, intense competition and still have a team aspect because like you could be the greatest individual, but if you don't know how to work with your teammate, and that's the challenge just has such a good dynamic in so many different ways. That's why it's been running the way that it is.
Oh yeah,
100%.
Everything is so variable. You have, like, if you're with a partner, you have to rely on your partner for things that they might not be good at, even if you're the biggest physical threat, or you might not be good at puzzles and your partner's really strong. And so balancing that team dynamic, if partners are involved, is also crazy.
Yeah, that's the cool part about the challenge is like you have these crazy challenges, but you're living in a house like Big Brother, and you got it's kind of like a mix of all together. It's the best of both worlds. I don't know how great Love Island is going to come off, but hey, maybe
we're all concerned for Love Island. Shout out to Love Island.
Yeah. Hey, if that's the thing though, see if we're discrediting them, maybe they're like, I got him. Like Cinco. I've been watching Cinco on Instagram, and I'm like, this guy's tough. He looks like he's got a heart of gold, but he's built like a brick house.
Yep.
And that's the kind of thing like you got to look out for, because he can be unassuming because he was on Love Island, but his strength, I mean, if y'all check him out on Instagram, he's legit. Like he's agile, he can move well, he can do it all.
He is fit. I think of all the Love Island guys, he is probably the biggest competition and when it comes to completing the challenges, for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Josh, you were like going to say something before, I thought. Weren't you going to pop in? Yeah.
So, like I said before, watch your season. Do you think that, obviously I feel like you won your way to the end because you won, all the immunity challenges and all that stuff. But do you think that what's more important, winning challenges and winning your way to the end, or building relationships and having those strong alliances? What was more beneficial for your game? And if you ever played the challenge, what do you think would benefit you more?
If I were ever to play the challenge, I mean, here's the thing. You can't do well without mental strength. It all comes from mental strength. So the longevity of Survivor, you got to be mentally strong, which helps you physically. Like if you're mentally strong, you're going to be physically strong in a lot of ways. So I personally believe that if you come at it and you're like, I'm just going to win, then that comes off cocky. And if you come off cocky in any way, then they're going to take you out. So if you stay humble and you realize, like, I could lose, there's no telling what's coming up tomorrow with Survivor, the challenge. You don't know. So I think the social game is huge. I mean, honestly, yeah, I would put physical strength behind like having a good social game for sure.
Yeah. For everybody who's just joining us, we are chatting about the new seasons of Big Brother and the Challenge USA. We have Jonathan from Survivor Season 42. If you have any comments or questions, please drop those down in the comments below. We're going to do a Q&A at the end of this. I want to talk about the 4 shows, kind of preparing you people for the challenge. And we've kind of talked about this with Corey and also with Hai. But for Jonathan, you were on Survivor. Which show do you think really prepares you for the structure of the challenge the most?
I'm biased. Listen, I'm biased. But I'll tell you that as far as the challenges of the challenge, Survivor players, I think, have an upper hand. They know what it's like to get to down and dirty, the grit. Like, I haven't eaten in a week. And if I don't win this, I'm not going to eat anything for another few days. I think that helps you mentally. That helps you get into a zone of, all right, do or die, it's going down. And I like that from the Survivor players, being in a house together. And, the longevity of Big Brother, I think that helps them be in a house together. You staying together that close. You can't just walk off and survive. In Survivor, you can. But in the challenge, you're in a house. You can go to the pool, but you're a lot closer to a lot of people. So, yeah, dude, I'd have to say, as far as the challenges go, Survivor, being in a house, Big Brother.
Yeah, I mean, there's 28 people. Living with 28 people, that's got to be overwhelming.
It is.
Yeah, dude, that would be rough.
Bad.
Yeah.
Like 16 people sharing the bathroom on Big Brother is probably what I think nobody really talks about. It's like the hidden terror of the house. The bathroom is a wreck. And it's like, and that was always my biggest issue. I'm like, I got to get in this shower that is horrible. Like, people just don't clean up after themselves. And I can't imagine 28. I can't. I would lose it.
Big personalities. Everybody's like, it's intense, dude. That's why I say, people always tell me to compare both shows, and I can't. They're both similar in the way that we're competing, but dude, the challenge is like a heightened version of all shows combined, Yep. So it's way more intense. I don't even have the words to explain it.
The good thing about Survivor is the bathroom is everywhere. Hey man, it's free range. Do whatever you want.
And there's no showers, so you don't have to worry about it.
You're just dirty the whole time.
Straight up, dude. I remember getting off, and I was like caked in mud.
I can't imagine the smell of all of you as you're leaving the island and what that just awful smell is.
Dude, I was nose dead. I didn't smell anything. I couldn't smell like anybody.
Goodness. Jonathan, okay, we've talked about Big Brother and we talked about Survivor being the two shows that you think prepare you. If you were to do one of them, which one would you like to do, even though you've done Survivor, which one would you like to do, I guess, now?
You mean between Big Brother and
Survivor?
Oh, dude, I'd be back on Survivor in a heartbeat. That was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life. And I mean that. I've tried to do some crazy stuff in my life, but it didn't hold a candle to not eating a lot for 25 days. I lost 22 pounds, bro. It was the hardest thing I've ever done in my life.
I can't imagine. I mean, on the race, I lost 15 pounds running the race, and that was 21 days, but I was still getting fed so much food. But we were just running so much. I can't imagine not eating and then also losing 22 pounds. That is crazy.
Dude, I passed out one of the episodes. I've never passed out before in my life. And I woke up with my main man, Mike, shaking my legs to wake me up, bro. It's the craziest. It's humbling. You realize where you stand.
Jonathan, would you ever do the Challenge USA?
Is this an invitation?
If I had the authority and the power,
dude, I would be there in a heartbeat.
Hell yeah.
You are. I still say that you're the physical beast of Survivor. I mean, that challenge where you're in the water, carrying your entire team out of the water. Well, I was standing up, mouth on the floor, that was beyond.
Yeah, dude, that was my favorite. Jeff, he's like, Jonathan, why are you smiling so big about this challenge? Because I was like, Jeff, can I do this? Can I do this? And he's like, yeah, you can do all that. And Jeff understood at the end of the challenge. That was my favorite out of all of it.
Yeah.
So, in terms of favorites for Jonathan, I don't know if you watch Big Brother, but favorite challenges for Big Brother and the challenge, do any of y'all have favorites that you've either competed in or that you like watching?
Yeah, for Big Brother, I like anything with the wall. You know how the wall shakes? And all the different stuff they do with that wall.
Yeah, not until you do it. Not until you do it, bro.
I love that stuff. I like how all of a sudden it'll start raining on you and everybody's got to hold on. I think weird stuff like that's cool.
Yeah, it's fun. It's fun. It's fun to experience, but that competition is brutal.
Yeah, I bet.
It's brutal.
And
especially for guys like our size, when you're our size, it really is tough. It's like you're holding on with your fingertips and your forearms, and that pain is just there for a while.
It was not built for guys our size. I feel like the smaller girls, that's really, I know.
I believe it, dude. I believe it. Hey, what's that one with the Kingdom of Curl a lot, where you gotta do the different physical, the spinning and the person that spins the most, and you're dressed up in athletic gear. I like that one.
Is that the one where you're spinning and you gotta roll
and then you bowl
pins?
No, it's so you are in a chair and you gotta spin with your hips. And the most spins wins.
Oh, yeah. So they just recently had that.
Yeah, that was on season 23.
It was Brittany won that veto.
Yeah.
She was
I know that one.
Committed to winning.
That was one of the best sound bites and GIFs that I think they've produced in recent history.
It was so good. It was so funny. I was dying laughing watching that episode. My favorite Big Brother challenge is always going to be the OTEV challenges. I think those are, obviously they look like so much fun to play, but just watching it and how people struggle with remembering stuff, I think is always such a fun time.
I think that was my favorite, I guess as a fan, bucket list was playing OTEV, making it to OTEV, but then playing in it.
Yeah.
Surreal for me. That's what, it hit me obviously when I was in the game, but it really, I was holy shit, I'm really on Big Brother. So OTEV is always an iconic competition.
Yeah, meeting Zingbot, right? Meeting Zingbot, getting roasted. It's more like the mile markers, that are so they're so big.
What about from the challenge? I know, Josh, you've done the challenge before. Is there a favorite one that you like to do or one that you like watching? For me, I don't ever want to do these challenges, but a pole wrestle or a hall brawl, they look crazy. But I think as a viewer watching those, they're so intense.
Dude, so it's crazy because I'm a big guy and I've done 5 seasons and I've prayed. Some people don't want to go into those physical eliminations or things like that. That's all I want. Not because I'm
Yeah.
confident in my size. I'm like, if I'm going to do good in anything, it's a hall brawl or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think, you know, the more seasons that I do, the more in love that I fall in love with the game, and you just become this junkie. Like, you just, normal life doesn't seem fun to you anymore. Like, you're ready to jump out of a plane. You know, it's insane, like, just playing the game, how, you know, it just turns you into this competitive animal kind of, you know. And I think that we all, the ones that continue to come back and play do season after season, that happens to us. But I think anything heights over water is scary, but I like all that stuff. Swimming, I know, Jonathan, you are probably one of the best swimmers I've seen on Survivor, so anything in the water I love. But yeah, dude, I've fallen in love with the game. So honestly, every time I see TJ, I'm scared shitless, but then the adrenaline and it's all exciting. I just love competing.
Jonathan, any final thoughts about these new seasons of Big Brother and the challenge before we let you go?
Yeah, man, I'm excited to see. I know I'm biased, but my Survivor peeps. I want to see how Tyson does. You know, he's like 40-something years old. I've watched him for a while, and I'm anxious to see how they do, all of them. Sarah, I hope she does good. But yeah, I hope the best for all of them. And yeah, dude, it'll be a wild ride.
I don't doubt it. Thanks for joining us, Jonathan. It was great chatting with you and nice meeting you. I again loved watching you on season 42.
Thank you.
And hopefully we can chat soon.
Yeah, I love you guys.
See you, brother.
Later, bro.
Bye. All right, we're going to add another Survivor to our live.
Ooh.
A lot of Survivors coming in
lot,
hot.
yeah.
Hey, Survivor's got it going on. Let's see. All right, we're going to add Michaela from Survivor 33 and 35. Hello, Michaela.
Michaela!
Oh, it's about time y'all had some feminine energy. And man heavy, I'm just saying.
How are you? How's everything going?
Everything's going well. We're out here super hot in Texas, so you know.
I'm from Texas. I know how it is. It's hot.
Summertime fun. But no, so great to see y'all. Josh, I see you've been getting fine all on the internet, getting your exercise on.
Stop it. I miss you, Michaela. I haven't seen you. So we did last season together, and I haven't seen. It's been a while.
Yeah.
But how excited are you to see fellow survivors, but to see what's happening with this whole madness of the challenge growing?
I am super excited. When I heard about this, I was like, I feel like this is going to be my personal redemption story. So it's like, okay, survivors are going into a house with some friends, a bunch of new people, even playing ground. We're going to see how that thing goes. But I'm excited. Is the whole bracket thing still happening? I feel like I saw a commercial about that.
Oh, the War of the Worlds.
Yeah.
War of the World. Yes, I don't know how it's going to work, but supposedly the winners from this season of the Challenge USA will go on to compete in that challenge. But I don't know how it works yet.
That's exciting.
You got did dirty. You got did dirty on the challenge.
You know, hey, it was a learning lesson, you know? So
yeah. Too early, too soon.
Too soon, but hey, what can we do? It's the game, so somebody's got to go.
Michaela, what piece of advice would you give some of these survivors and Big Brother, Amazing Racers, Love Islanders going into the game like the challenge?
I would say for the survivor people, just recognizing how different it is from Survivor. I mean, Survivor is predictable in the sense that there's a particular format. You know, your challenges happen on this day, travel happens on this day. You have all this time to think and wonder. With the challenge, you don't know when it's starting. You don't know what's going on. Everything is just happening all at the same time. There's, like y'all said, 20-something people on top of each other, no breaks. So it's just, you got to be ready for chaos and know how to move in that, because there's no time to figure it out once you get there. So that's one thing I'd say. Be ready for the chaos. Have some friends on the front end if you can. And don't go into the first elimination because you never know how.
I love that. What
I
about
feel like stuff on the challenge like flips like very quickly. Like it seems sometimes like it's going some way, and then all of a sudden one person says something at the long table and stuff just like flips.
Yeah.
And that's what I feel like is chaotic and crazy about it.
But I think that a lot of people, at least with the flagship, a lot of these people have played the show so many times that they already know when there's an opportunity. If you give them a chance to pick at you and find something they can target, that's an easy vote. So if you make yourself an easy target, Michaela, I love you. You know I love you. But the damn no. I think that just gave people, you know, a reason early on to just target you, which sucked because the edit didn't show this, but we had a good friendship, and I was willing to and open to working with you. So yeah, that just sucked. But I think with these old school vets, which is why I'm excited to see just newbies on the
that's a good point.
It's kind of fair, right? These OGs, they know how to play the game, and respect to them, dude. But it's a whole different game to involve that mix.
Facts don't matter.
That's such a great point.
Like whatever narrative came out first, hope it's in your favor. So you know, don't bring your fact book. You just
Josh and Cody, what advice would you give the new Big Brother players going into this new season?
Man, it's tough. For me, it's a lot of form your relationships early. Don't put a target on your back. And I feel like in these new seasons, like it's tough. Like coming back on a returner season, I think it was fortunate, and winning the first HOH for me was very fortunate. Or I think that the All-Star season would have went different for me, because I feel like people are targeting, you know, like somebody that looks athletic much quicker on Big Brother now, which I kind of really don't fully understand because there's not too many like brute athletic competitions. But I think it's just you got to go in and you got to really be likable. You got to form as many relationships as possible, because going on the block isn't the issue. Going home is. And if you form relationships, you can go on the block and stay.
Yep.
And so I feel like people have missed that. It's like, well, if I'm on the block, my game is over and I freak out. But if you form good relationships early, that's carrying you through the game.
I couldn't agree more. That, and also learn to be in on conversations and not repeat what you hear. I feel like so many people just run around, obviously because you're bored. So it's like the telephone game, right? Learn to just be kind of like a fly on the wall, taking information from everyone, and don't repeat anything unless it benefits don't expose anything unless it benefits your game. But yeah, I think exactly what Cody said. Numbers is huge, especially in Big Brother, and especially genuine people that you can connect with. And I mean, you saw it with you winning that first one, and numbers can take you a long way in the game, and you definitely need them towards the end and for votes and everything. So it's, those genuine relationships is what matters in Big Brother.
Yeah, I agree. For the challenge and Big Brother, for the three of you, what do you think it takes? What traits do you think it takes to really get to the finale of both shows?
I think I got to turn to y'all because I haven't made it to anybody's finale.
Not yet.
We'll stick with Big Brother on this one.
I gotta say, I feel like it's got to be like calm under pressure and calm into chaos. Like if you can stay calm and not let like all the stuff get to you or let your emotions get the best of you. I know for me, the first time I played, emotions would have really just spiraled out of control because I was young and I felt very immature. The second time, there were so many times where my emotions could have got the best of me because I heard things that were being said about me. And it was like my initial thing was confront. And then my second thing was sit down and relax and just like don't go for that initial emotional reaction. Like sit on those impulses, even though it is the hardest part. And so I would say, honestly, in any of these games, right, it's like there's always confrontation that you could either sit on or you could go and, like, confront. And I feel like confronting it never works in your favor.
Yeah. I couldn't agree more. I think that's my biggest downfall.
I was saying that, Josh.
That's my biggest flaw. Cody, like, couldn't take the words out of my mouth. It's so hard, especially in a game with, like, the challenge, when you have these genuine relationships, right? It's so hard to disconnect the game and the relationship. For instance, like with Michaela, I know that you came in working with Survivor and then they ended up blowing up your game kind of in a sense. So you know, it's so hard. It's easy to say it, right? But when you're in that environment and that becomes your reality, for me personally, it's so hard to disconnect. And like my heart, my emotions, my temper, everything, just I lose control. So I think note taken, Cody. That's something I got to work on.
It's not easy, right? Yeah. Like it's easy to say, but it's really difficult.
Yeah. Emotional.
Michaela, I can I ask you something? So with you, your time around your rookie season, your alliance didn't benefit you. Do you think it's more beneficial, like we said earlier, a lot of these people, do you think it benefits them to work with their alliances within their show, or would you branch out and work with different people like from Love Island and Racing?
I think you need to work with people who actually want to work with you and aren't afraid of you. That's the key. Because if you're just so happen to be from a show, but those people don't feel comfortable with you, then the first moment they get, they're going to throw you under the bus. So you got to find a group of people that feel that you are to their benefit, not a threat to them. And whoever that group is, wherever they come from, run with them. And if you can talk to them ahead of time, try it.
Oh. That's the thing about the challenge, right, Josh? Like, I feel like the game just continues going.
Yeah.
Like, the game doesn't stop. These games are
back to your normal life and just disconnect for like the next few months until you go on the next one, because you can get caught up in crazy. But yeah, it's tough, dude. But I wouldn't trade it for the world. I love it.
Last question before you leave us, Michaela. Who do you think is going to do well on the challenge, or which show do you think is going to do the best?
All right, so I have to say I'm rooting for my Survivor people. I've played with some of these people. I live by some of these people. I've talked to most of these people. I mean, I just think they're gonna thrive. But also, you know, when I look at the Big Brother, they did such an amazing job. Most of them came from the last season, but I think having so many people from Big Brother who came from the same season just puts a target on their back. So I think it might be one of those situations where just because of their, I don't know, recency and people identify them as a group, that will work in their, like, not to their favor. But I'm rooting for Survivors, man, from outside of the game. And I must say that y'all were wearing red, white, and blue, and it was just...
How fitting is that for the Challenge USA?
There we go. USA.
And that.
Michaela, any final thoughts about these new seasons of Big Brother and the Challenge?
I'm excited to watch. I'll root for everybody, but in my heart, I'm rooting for my Survivor folks. And I have to say, Cody, I met your brother. He's great. I've never met you.
I know. He told me. I know, because you and Corey were out by Paulie, right? You went to Montana, right?
Montana.
I know. He's telling me all about it. I still haven't even gone to Montana to visit. Ooh,
shame on
should have
you.
said that. I know.
Going out there. It's cute. But yeah.
All right.
Everybody, I'm excited for everybody. I'm loving that the show is expanding, and I'm going to tune in. So
awesome.
Love it.
Well, thanks for joining us, Michaela. It was great chatting with you, and hopefully we'll chat soon.
All righty. Bye-bye.
Bye, Michaela.
Bye, Michaela.
All right. I'm going to add in not somebody from Survivor, somebody from Big Brother.
Oh, let's go.